Hi, it's Shallalla. It took less than 24 hours for the second part of this mini-series to reach 100 likes, and you have absolutely no idea how much happiness that activates inside of me. Thank you very much. And since I promised that I would do the next part once we've reached those 100 likes, here it is. With no further ado, the third part of Creativity Coach reacting to Lady Gaga, the Chromatica interview with Zane Lowe.
Blood pop every day. I quit smoking.
Yeah, you told me that last time, like it was a big deal.
I did.
That would suggest you started again, and now it's a I quit again statement.
No, I didn't start again.
Whole time?
Whole time. I mean, not even one, man. Because like, quitting is so hard.
It's hard, man. It's hard, man. I smoked for a long time, and it's tough.
It's hard, but you know what? I would sit on my porch and chain smoke all day, and Blood would be like, let's go downstairs and you need to get off your porch. And I was like, you don't understand how I feel, what I've been through. And I was in this this endless state of like, I'm being attacked. And
the constant state of being attacked, well, let me state the obvious. That is not a good place to be in. There is a process that your body goes through when there is an actual attack, when it is in danger. And I guess, you know, the fight or flight response. And there's a third, well, actually there's four of them, but the third one is freeze, and I want to look at that. Sitting on the porch and killing all your energy by chain smoking, that to me is a freeze reaction.
I smoked the whole way through making this record, and when we were done, I stopped. It was like the most bizarre, beautiful thing that could have happened, that this music actually healed me. And the last act, of the album is a song called Sign from Above, as you know, that I did with Elton, and a song called Babylon. And, we use a sign from above, S-I-N-E, because it's a sound wave. It's, that sign from above is what healed me to be able to dance my way out of this album singing Babylon.
And dancing would actually be the opposite of being frozen. So, yes, her music healed her. She made herself dance.
And a song about gossip and something that used to run my life, and make me feel so small and so chained, and dance my way with the chains on. I'm wearing them right now, and I wear them proudly, that I feel free. And I had to go through all these various stages. And in the middle of the record, Fun Tonight, which is a song that means a lot to me, and every time I listen to it, I get choked up, because I can't tell you how many nights that people that really love me were trying to get me to smile or laugh or be optimistic, and I just had no ability to be happy. It just wasn't there. But then I would write this music, and I would listen back, and I'd go, why is that so fun? Why is that so happy?
But when we spoke around Joanne, and I don't mean to rehash, old interviews, but I'm trying to create context. You went home, you literally, Art Pop landed. You were like, Q, this is who I am. Now I'm going to play with my friend Tony, and then I'm going home. And you went home, and you made an album about home. And when artists go home, I think they're looking for some closure. And I wonder what you found and why you came out of that space, went into A Star Is Born, which, is just art imitating life. Don't even get me started. And then you sort of came out the other side of this whole era, which is supposed to be healing, and found yourself on a porch chain smoking, having this really deep, dark conversation with yourself. Why?
Well, I think it's part of what is still in my heart and was a beautiful experience with Mark Ronson, which is that, the only album that Mark is interested, I think, in making with any given artist is the artist's album.
Yeah.
What do you want to say? Right? I mean, Mark is he might as well be standing in front of any construct that's telling me what I'm supposed to be, and slashing at it and challenging me as I write every lyric to be like, no, what do you really mean? Right?
He sounds not only like a great collaborator, but also like someone who understands the concept of deep work, of pushing yourself as an artist. And if Mark Ronson is not available to you right now, you might try Eric Meisel's book, Fearless Creating. That will guide you through all the steps of the creative process, and it won't let you get away with simply surfing the surface.
And when I made Joanne, when it was all done, like traveling the world and playing guitar, learning guitar, and going on tour, I realized, oh wow, okay. I made an album for my dad. I made a record trying to heal my family's trauma because my dad's sister, Joanne, passed away when he was 15 years old.
I talked about this a little bit in the I Found a Way to Love Myself video. And first of all, I really love that she is so crystal clear on her intention of this album of Joanne. And yet, it is not a very good idea to put the meaning part of your meaning-making efforts into someone else's hands. Her dad's feelings are not something that she can control. Let's say you're writing a novel, and that is a huge undertaking which will take a lot of time. The meaning that you derive from that huge effort has to be in the writing, in the process, and in acknowledging that you are a writer. If you say, writing a book is only meaningful to me when it gets published, you're leaching the meaning right out of the process, and with every rejection letter that you receive, you'll crumble a bit more. And in the end, you might cry out, was it all for nothing? It was, or it might look like it, if you've misplaced meaning. If you place meaning on the process, if you attach it to the doing and to the being, you're on a much safer side. Because those are in your control, and it's totally within your power whether you sit down and write, to stay in that example.
And he didn't know how sick she was. And it was actually this really beautiful and yet futile effort. You cannot fix something that way, and I had to learn that. But it was an epic disappointment in my heart that drove me into a depression, that I realized that no matter what I make, no matter how big I become, no matter how many sold-out stadiums I have, I can't fix my dad.
Do you see how much pressure that misplaced meaning put on her? It led straight to a major meaning crisis. I didn't manage to heal my dad. My music wasn't good enough. I'm at the end of my rope because sold out stadiums, #1 albums, #1 songs, all that is not enough. It really sounds like she put all of her meaning eggs into this one basket, heal my dad's trauma. And she is so very right. This is futile. You cannot heal someone else's trauma. You can be there for them, even make music for them, in the hopes of giving them like a moment of joy. But ultimately, they have to heal themselves. And I don't like to use clinical terms because I'm not a doctor nor a psychologist. I like to think of what she calls depression, a meaning crisis. A major meaning crisis, no doubt. She exhausted herself trying to close the meaning wound in someone else's life. She poured all the meaning she was making into someone else's life in the hopes that it would heal them. And it's very beautiful. I feel it. It's like very loving and really damaging to herself.
And then you're on the porch smoking.
Yeah, exactly.
And look, it's like those are the things that I feel like I go, that who gives a shit if I'm a celebrity or an artist? How many people on the planet are trying to fix somebody they love? How many people on the planet are trying to understand how they can heal someone that is broken? How many people on the planet are enmeshed with people that they love because they are pining for a greatness that will never be fulfilled? Like, I had to detach from something that from childhood was built into me. I mentioned epigenetics to you when I was on in our last call. It's like the way in which my body expresses itself, like on a level with proteins, essentially, is that there is potentially, like, I don't want to be like a fucking pseudoscientist, but potentially the way that I behave and act has something to do with what my dad went through.
Yeah. Epigenetics is such an important topic. We now understand, actually I don't, but science now understands that we are not doomed by our genes, that they are flexible after all. And if you want to go deeper into that topic and how it can help you to smooth out your life, look up Joe Dispenza and epigenetics right here on YouTube. And the fact that she mentions this actually shows how far she's gone, how much work she's done in order to heal herself.
And I made that record, and then I realized that I couldn't fix my dad, so I kind of gave up, because I was like, well, if I can't fix my dad, what's the point?
Yeah, if I can't fix my dad, what's the point? That is, like, in a nutshell, everything that I try to find words for. There's no meaning in my music if my music doesn't heal my dad. And from there, it is only like a tiny, tiny step towards there's no meaning in my life. And people often think, or society wants you to believe, that for an artist, their art is everything. And that's quite true, unfortunately. If all the meaning in your life stems from one meaning-making vehicle, your art, and that vehicle fails, you'll be up to your chin in meaninglessness. If she was a client who came to me and told me all this, then I'd say, you need to build something that I like to call meaning mix. Your own personal meaning mix. You need more than one way of making meaning in your life, and yes, your art will be like the main meaning-making vehicle, but there is more to your life than being someone who produces art. And speaking of producing, if you want a fourth piece of this series, give this video a thumbs up. When it gets 100 likes, I know that you are interested, and I'll do the next part. It might take me a little bit, though, because I'm taking a break over the holidays and won't be in my studio to record. But I'll have it published for you ASAP.
So what brought you back?
The sound, the music.
No surprise here. This is so beautiful. You can actually see it on her face, how she lights up when she says that, and the moment she remembers how the music brought her back. Her main meaning-making device brought her back. And that's kind of like, that is the tricky thing. It's all about balance. She obviously loves music. She dedicates her life to music, and yet she needs to add different sources of meaning to her meaning mix if she wants to get the most out of her love to music.
You know, being myself, just seeing little glimpses of myself come alive here and there. I'd like to say that in a way I was asleep, and I was just sleeping through life, and I was just angry, so angry. And then you find gratitude. Look at what I have. Look at the love I have around me. Look at the friends that I have.
As worn out and overused the concept of gratitude is, it really does have healing powers. If you think of sadness and adjectives that describe it, you probably come up with words like heavy, low, sunken, downcast, or generally down. Sadness weighs you down. gratitude or joy, which I think can be used synonymously, go along with words like delighted, lifting you up. It makes you feel like flying. And that actually means that you can use gratitude to change your energy and to perk yourself up. Here's what I do. I use an app. It's called Mood Space. I use the free version, and it's very beautiful, a very beautiful design. It lets you keep a gratitude journal in the form of clouds. In the evening, I go through my day and I really search for moments that I am truly grateful for. And these days, that's quite often a comment from one of you that encourages me to keep doing what I am doing. Thank you so very much for those. And this conscious search for positive things in your life, it has an effect. You train yourself to notice good things. You train your brain to notice these good things, and you lift your spirit. You literally change your energy.
That cared. Blood Pop was like, he would listen to me talk for hours and rant when I was just like spiraling in shame for hours, and then just so that we could write one song. And that love instilled in me a gratitude that grew over time, and it just made me more of a fighter. And I just started to lean into reality, lean into my mental issues and go, I have them and I'm still going. And so I kept going, and then I kept going, and then I kept going, and I kept dancing, and I kept writing. And I didn't stop, and I was honest every single time. I mean, when I tell you that writing the lyrics for this album and the melodies, like, it was like that. I mean, this is how I used to write music. When I first started writing music, someone would sit down with me, and I would write it down on a piece of paper and hand it to them and go, this is what it is. This is.
What you just described is the opposite of a blocked artist, the flowing through you, out of you, and this state, it's every artist's dream and goal. And people, I think people don't hear this enough. There's so much talk of being blocked and how hard it is to be an artist. And I am very happy that she actually sets the record straight and says it can actually be easy and joyful to make art.
How this album was made.
I love that you say that, because it shows a real connection to your artistic spirit and the voice that needed to come out.
Yeah, Zane calls it your artistic spirit that she let come out. And if you combine that with craft, with being really good at what you're doing, you're unstoppable.
But you also, in the same breath, made mention of the hours and hours and hours and hours of work that you were doing to yourself, not on yourself at the time, doing to yourself. You were beating yourself up to get to that place where you would have one single realization, and that is work. That is work.
Yeah. Well, I would just, fight through it. And I had Blood Pop and Benjamin Rice, who produced Shallalla with me, engineered the whole record. He did all the vocal production, and he's such a beautiful force in my life. And one of my favorite lyrics on the album is, I heard one sign from above, I heard one sign from above, then the signal split in two, the sound created stars like me and you, before there was love, there was silence. I heard one sign, and it healed my heart, heard a sign. So, like,
I so love it in this interview. Whenever she quotes her own lyrics, you can totally see this this changed state. It's so beautiful.
That song, and that was actually like later in the recording process, that I actually was like, and now let me pay tribute to the very thing that has revived me, and that is music. And that was the very thing that revived me, Zane, when I was a little girl and I was trying to heal my dad. And I would sit at the piano and write songs, and my dad would go from being upset maybe or having a hard day to laying on the couch and saying, my dad used to call me Loopy, which is funny because it's not unlike Gaga, it sounds kind of crazy. And he'd go, yeah, Loop, I like that one. That's a good one, Loop. That's that. What is that? Is that a chord? That's a chord. Play that chord again. And I love that lyric. I love that melody. So like the very thing.
This makes me so sad, because I mentioned 3 ways of how we respond to danger, and the fourth one is actually fawn. So there is fight, flight, freeze, and fawn, and trying to change a parent's emotion through entertaining them falls into that category. For a child, a depressed parent is a threat to survival. And this is actually kind of common, which obviously doesn't make it less painful. If you read like artists' biographies, then you will come across this mechanism a lot. And she obviously has done a lot of work already and can, as she said earlier, now she can detach her music from her dad's emotional state. By now you can probably say this with me. What she actually detached is the meaning. Her music's meaning doesn't lie in her dad's emotional landscape anymore.
That made me an artist, this wanting to heal my father, it's still with me, but now it's this positive thing where I know that I can't actually do it, but the way in which I responded to it, it has actually made me who I am, and I love who I am. I love that my way of dealing with my father's pain is that I write songs.
Yeah, I love that as well. And I guess you do too, since you're watching this video. And if you found value in my observations, because we are actually at the end of the next 10 minutes, please consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you very much for watching, and I see you in 100 likes with the next episode. Bye.